everyone, welcome to Communicative English. For this week's video lecture, I would like to take a look at the awkward expressions we did on last Friday's class. Okay, so let's take a look at the set A first. The first sentence of set A is, "It's a good idea, just I think." Here, the awkward part is just I think. This makes sense if you think about it in Korean version, such as 그냥 내 생각엔. But this is kind of awkward in English. So let's change this part. And why do we say just I think kind of expressions? Because you said something and you're not sure if others will agree to, right? So you want to add some nice comment to give them an impression that, oh, it's just my opinion, right? I'm not imposing or like arguing that. I just think it is a good idea, but you can disagree if you want, right? So you just want to tone down your opinion. So in this case, you can just say, in my opinion, right? It's a good idea, in my opinion. You can just add it at the end of the sentence to, tone down your utterance. Okay, let's look at number 2. She has a disadvantage in her character. So first of all, the word character, we use this a lot. But the problem of using this word is that the character means like the kind of people who appears on a story or a TV show or a movie, those are characters. So this is not a direct translation of 성격. I think you might thought it was okay to use the word character thinking that this means 성격. But actually this is not 성격. If you want to say 성격 in English, you can say characteristic, or you can also use the word personality. Personality, I think, in my opinion, I think personality sounds more natural than the character. But still, like, disadvantage means like there's something wrong with it. You have a problem with it. But disadvantage is something that is not fair, but a character is something you're born with. So I don't think it's natural to say that you have a disadvantage in your characteristic or you have a disadvantage in your personality. Disadvantage is a situation when you feel it is not fair to you. So you can say like, I have a disadvantage in this class because my English skills not good enough like others. That's disadvantage. But here you're talking about how the she person was born with, or how she is. So in this case, you can, instead of saying a disadvantage in her character, I think the better expression is she has a character flaw. Character flaw means there is a little problem in her own character, her personality and stuff. Okay, so you can say that, or you can say that like she has a problem in her personality, or she has a bad personality, or she's not a good person. That's also okay. But a character flaw is a very common expression that you use to say that somebody doesn't have a good personality. And number 3, English is bored. Okay, bored, it's something you feel, right? And if you think about it, English is not a person. It's not an animated. It's not something that can feel something. So here, what the expression you're looking for is boring. You say boring when something causes someone else to feel the emotion. Okay, so English is boring. But let's not say that, okay? English is not boring, okay? English is fun, yay! And let's move on to number 4. They don't accept their mistake. So here the use of the word accept is a little awkward because when in terms of the mistake, there's nothing you can accept or not, right? So here I think the use of the word accept has something to do with the action of like acknowledge that you did something wrong. Like they don't accept their mistake. I think the right interpretation of this sentence is like they say they did not make a mistake, right? They don't acknowledge, or there's a better word for it. Instead of accept, you can say admit. So they don't admit their mistake. That means they are saying it's not their mistake, or they didn't make any mistake. All right? And number 5, I can't do that too. Here the problem is too means something, the same thing occurred again, right? But the problem is you cannot use too with a negative expression. So instead of too, you have to change that to either. Okay? Then how about neither? Neither is not plus either. Okay? So, it's a little breaking here. So, if you do want to say neither, then you can say I can do that neither. Or you say I can't do that either. All right? And let's move on to number 6. I have ever been to Japan. So you use ever when you talk about something that happened before, and usually you use expression when you ask a question. Okay? So you can say, instead of saying ever, you can say I have once been to Japan. Or if you want to say that it didn't happen of you visiting to Japan, then you should say I have never been to Japan. All right? And number 7, I have done that yet. So here again, like to, yet has a condition to be used in a sentence that it always comes with the negative expression. So if you want to use yet, then you should say I have not done that yet. Or if you want to keep the positive in the sentence, then instead of putting not, you can say I have done that already. It's also possible, but you cannot use positive sentence with yet. All right? Okay, now sentence number 8. She was pretty in a reel. Here, the awkward expression is in a reel. So, I think there are 2 ways to interpret this sentence. First is you want to say that she was pretty and very, very pretty. You want to emphasize that she was pretty and that is real. Or another interpretation is she was not pretty when you didn't see her as a real person, but now you saw her face to face, then she looks pretty. Okay? So how do we say that? If it is a first case that you want to emphasize the fact that she is pretty, then you can say she was really pretty. Okay? Put really in front of pretty. She was really pretty. And another interpretation is that she was pretty when you saw her for real. Okay? So in that case, you can say she was pretty in person. Like when you actually see her, not through the camera or a video call. If you actually see her as a person to person, then she's pretty. You can see that. And also, instead of saying really, you can also change in a real into for real. She was pretty. For real. That also means she was really pretty. Okay, sentence number 9. She has a small face. Okay, small face. This is an interesting expression that I remember my husband's story about this small face phenomena in Korea that whenever he meets new people, or like sometimes when he walks on the street, like people comment on our children about how small face they have. So they sometimes even do like a physical gesture that, like, you hold your hand up with a fist and shake it in front of people, saying that, oh, your face is really small, like, to compare the size of their face to your fist, to emphasize how small they are. But first of all, people don't really say that outside of Korea. So if you do that kind of gesture in front of other foreigners, they might feel a little bit threatened, because it looks like you're just shaking your fist in front of them, like threatening to hit them, right? And also, there is a bigger like cultural context you have to consider, that any comment on people's appearances in general is not polite. You just don't talk about how people look like. Even if it is a good comment, still you're judging people's look, right? And it's never a nice thing to say. No matter how nicely you say it, no matter how big compliment it is, still culturally and usually universally, it is considered impolite to do any comment on people's appearances. So the best strategy to make this not awkward, the sentence 9, if you really want to make it not awkward, then don't say anything. Okay? Don't say sentence number 9. That's the best strategy you can take. But if you still want to mention about this small face thing, the second thing you should consider is, what is a face? Actually, if you say like someone has a small face, and the picture that I have in my head is a people who has like very small space on their like front part of their head. So what is a face? Does face include the forehead, or face is just eyes and eyebrows and nose and mouth? Like what consists of face? So that's controversial. And also, so instead of saying you have a small face, you can say you have a small head, right? Like, oh, you have a small head. So when you wear a baseball cap, it really looks like you have a very, very small face. Like, people say that very often. But also you should know that, I don't know outside of America, but at least in America, if you say that you have a small head, that means you are stupid. Because people think big head means smarter. Okay? So even if you are doing your best to make this expression into a less awkward or non-awkward way, still it is not. There is no way to say this in a nice way or in a correct way, because this is a like culturally unique concept that only Koreans have in the world, like small face or small head. Okay? So let's keep that in mind, and let's move on to sentence number 10. When he looked at me, I was so shy. So shy is a feeling. Okay, so when you say I am shy, then you're talking about your personality. I'm shy means you feel shy, and the most of the times when you encounter someone else. Or sometimes you feel shy, or you are shy even by yourself, right? Shy is your personality. Shy is your characteristic when you combine it with beaver. I am shy means I have a personality that feels shy very often. Or I was shy means I am a kind of person who felt shy all the time before. But here the problem is, you specify the moment when you was shy. When he looked at me. I'm not usually shy, but I was shy when he looked at me, right? So it's a temporary emotion, temporal feeling. So in that case, instead of saying I was shy, you should say I felt so shy. Feeling is temporal. Be verb is consistent status. All right? So instead of saying if you say I was shy, that means you have a personality that feels shy all the time. If you say I felt shy, means I don't know what my personality is, but that was my temporal emotion at that time. Okay? And let's move on to sentence number 11. I need to learn many new vocabularies. Okay, here. So first of all, you cannot count vocabulary. Vocabulary is not something you count. Words, you can count. Expressions, you can count. Sentences, you can count. But vocabulary means the entire collection of words that you know. Okay? So you do not learn vocabulary. You learn new words. And what happens when you learn new words, you become to expand. Okay, instead of saying I learned many new vocabularies, if you say I learned many new words, right? And if you learn many words, then you can expand your vocabulary. I'm sorry that there is a little lag in the writing system. I don't know what's going on. But anyway, so either you can say I need to learn many new words, or I need to expand my vocabulary. All right? And number 12, I feel difficult reading. So we all know what you want to say, right? Reading is not easy. So you feel uncomfortable or you feel uneasy when you read, okay? But feel difficult is very awkward. So let's try to change it. So you can say that, here the expression I want to teach you is challenging. Challenging means something is not easy. Okay? So when you say challenging, actually you have to change the subject of the verb to make it more natural. You can say reading is challenging for me. That means reading is not easy. Reading is not an easy thing to do for me. Okay? Reading is challenging for me. So it's very natural expression. Okay, and number 13. I speak with good grammars. Okay, first of all, you cannot count grammar. Okay, so please delete S. Okay, and then I think it's okay. I speak with good grammar. Or you can say I have good grammar. That's another way to say that, because what you're trying to say is that you speak language without any grammatical errors, right? So you can say I have good grammar. Okay? Then you can I think it means like that means you speak language with good grammar. I have good grammar. Okay. And number 14. I expect your teaching. So what is expect? So I'm not sure what this person is trying to say. I expect your teaching. And I think that means, I think the person is like, I have high hopes for your teaching skills. Like, I want to learn from you. I think that's what they're trying to say. I expect your teaching. I think this person is trying to say that. You are a great teacher, so I can't wait to be taught by you. I want you to teach me right away or as soon as possible. So here the use of the expect is very awkward. So you can say, I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward. And your teaching is also a little bit experience. So I'm looking forward to learn from you. Okay, I'm looking forward to learn from you. This sounds, oh, sorry, there's a little mistake. I'm looking forward to learning. I'm looking forward to learning from you. That sounds better to me. Or maybe this person was trying to say instead of expect. Maybe the expression that was the person trying to use was respect. I respect your teaching, or I value your teaching. There's my tea. There's a little problem with my eye pencil. Okay, so maybe the person was trying to praise your teaching. So I respect your teaching, or I value your teaching. That's another interpretation of this sentence. But we don't know which one is the right one because we don't know what was the true intention of the writer of the sentence. We can only guess. Okay, and number 15. I went home. There I ate dinner. So ate dinner is not grammatically wrong, but usually people, instead of saying eat dinner, people usually use the verb have. So as it is a past tense, I would use I had dinner. You can eat dinner. You can say I ate dinner, but just the more common way to say it is I had dinner. And also, there is already an adverb that refers a location, so you don't need preposition in front of that. So I went home. There I had dinner. If you want to make the connection between these two sentences a little bit smoother, then you can say I went home and there I had dinner. Sounds more natural to me if you put and between the sentences to show the connection. All right? And now let's go to 16. We insist our opinions. So insist means like you really pushing that, right? You put emphasize and you really argue that one. So here, instead of saying insist, if you want to use insist, then you have to say specific things that you want to argue about. But here, our opinion is a noun, and insist doesn't take noun as an object. Okay? So if you want to say something that we really like emphasize our opinion, or we really argue our opinion, then you can use the expression stand by. Stand by. So if you physically stand by something, that means you're supporting it, right? So when you say I stand by our opinion, it means you're not going to change your opinion and you're really going to push it. You suggest your opinion is good. That's what stand by means. Okay, so you can use this for a person, like when you really trust someone and when you really support someone, you can say, I will stand by you, or I'm standing by you. That means you're supporting the person strongly. All right, now number 17. Your skill isn't good enough. What's wrong with this? Well, technically, like the statement like your skill isn't good enough may be factually accurate, but at the same time, it can come across a little bit impolite to say. No one will feel good when someone says your skill is not good enough, right? So this is grammatically okay, but no one will say that to your face because it's such a rude thing to say. So how can we change this? Here's a good impression that I often use is that there is a room, or you have a room for improvement. Because even something is really great, there is always a chance to make it better, right? So this is what it means. You have room. Oh, I'm sorry. You don't need a. You have room for improvement. You can add. Oops, something is breaking. Ooh. You can say add in your skill at the end, but it is not necessary. Okay, so you have room for improvement. Is implying, you're implying politely that you're doing okay, but you can do it better. That's what this means. All right, so that's that. And number 18, I listen to my MP3 on the subway. So first of all, okay, I know nobody listens to MP3 anymore. So this is a very outdated sentence, but also I'm not even sure if you know what MP3 is, but if you people don't listen to MP3 directly because it's a name of a file. So you can say that I just listen to some music app, like I listen to my Spotify, or I listen to Vibe, I listen to Melon, I listen to put anything that you listen to, but usually you don't listen to MP3 file. So like you can put I listen to my MP3 player on the subway, but this is still very outdated. No one listens to their MP3 player anymore. So either culturally or timely, grammatically, this is all awkward. All right? You can put whatever you want to put here. Instead of saying MP3, I listen to Spotify. That's my favorite app these days that I listen to. Blah, blah, blah. All right, and number 19. Do not wear your shoes in the house. Just stay your shoes at the entrance. Here the use of the word, oops, was a little bit cut. The use of the stay is awkward. So I think what you're trying to say is no shoes in the house, so put your shoes outside of the house or put them at the entrance, okay? So here, the better expression is just leave. Oop. Just leave your shoes at the entrance. Or since you said your shoes at the first sentence, you do not have to repeat it again. So do not wear your shoes in the house. Just leave them. Using the pronoun makes it better. Okay? So just leave them at the entrance. Sounds more natural. All right, and number 20. I agree what she said. People make this mistake very, very often. Right? When you say agree, you should say I agree with something. So when you want to put object after the word agree, you should say I agree with what she said. All right? Okay, so this was the first half of your activity, awkward expression set A. And I'll come back with awkward expression set B at the next video. All right?